Hey, it's Fat Albert. Hey everyone, welcome back to Thema Cinto. Grab your coffee, water, tea. I'm drinking not protein, vitamin C and all kinds of stuff. I'm also trying to stay hydrated. Well, you can't see this, it's fine. Um, Anywho, let's get into this real quickly because I don't have a lot of time. I have a Saturday brunch and I need to get ready. I just got back from the gym. Let's see if I can give chest. Can I give chest? I'm trying to give a little bit of chest, but it's not there. Hey. All right. So first and foremost, before we get into this video, sorry, my skin look a mess. Before we get into this video, I would like for y'all to stop with the gay and the fruitcake comments. I'm going to tell you how. wait, I'm being serious. Wait, let me put on my serious face. I don't like the gay and the fruitcake comments because I'm getting buff and bulky. So like I'm feeling the masculine. Look, let me just say, no, I'm not feeling better. I'm still my throat. Oh, I probably shouldn't go to brunch. We'll see, because I do not know what I have yet. Anyway. I have a message for y'all. I have a message for y'all because y'all keep calling people gay, and I don't think it's fair. So let me give y'all this message real quick.
I am 100% straight. It's the heterosexuality for me, sis. Honey, I am straighter than a number 2 pencil. I kiss women on the mouth, and I like it, honey. How can I be gay when I like the JJ? How can I be gay? Honey, the only thing that goes in my mouth is kitty cat. Kitty cat. If you're gay and you know it, clap your hands. Oh. Honey, these hands aren't clapping. They're not clapping. They're not clapping. Honey, these hands are stuck. I think men are icky. Icky like little boogers. And to all the straight men out there like myself, you better work. I am 100% straight. It's the heterosexual.
So now that so now that we cleared that up, I feel like we needed to clear that up because why were y'all doing why did I put this video in front of a actually serious video? Well, I guess it's not that serious. So hey Yogo, thank you so much. Hey LB, thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. Themis, you're going to jail. Themis, your chest is giving Gymfluencer. Your chest is giving Gymshark athlete. Period. You couldn't see it, but let me not. I was like making it. Can you see it? It's just jumping. It's jumping. What do you mean? I also don't like being sick because it feels like the color, like my color, is washed out, and I don't like that. So yeah, I look dead right now. All right, so let's get into this video. David, FYI, when you are here, let me know. I have allotted some time, not the entire time, some time for you to be able to come on, because you said you didn't get to speak and you wanted to speak to me only, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to give you that opportunity because I said that I am always here to learn, and I am. I am here to learn. So you should come and take the opportunity to teach me. I'm going to try to send you the link so that you can come on. Not come aunt with a T. How is everyone doing today? How art thou? I'm trying to find David comment so I can. Where is he? It's fine. It's not that important. If he's not on, he's not on. Because I'm not about to keep looking. The show must go on. Da 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 dum da 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 dum dum da dum dum. Oh, found him. All right. I am on now. I sent him the link, so period. We'll see if he shows up or not. All right, let's get into this debate.
Everything is good, man. Hey, I was just coming to the chat to see what's going on. Like, what was the issue with the video that I did? The reaction I did to that video, the Jonah Lucas, I'm not racist.
Well, fuck, I don't know. I did a whole video. I did a whole video on it. Do you remember specifically?
I mean, you were just like, I don't know. The general gist I got was like, I'm Uncle Tom or something.
You had like extreme criticisms to levy towards like, I guess what would be the progressive Black American viewpoint presented in the video. I don't know if I could use better adjectives there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm conservative. I think the color is irrelevant of a person if they're conservative. I'm not going to agree with progressive stuff just because I'm Black. I'm going to agree with conservative points because I'm conservative. I mean, wouldn't that make sense?
I mean, depending on the points, yeah, sure.
So, I mean, what points should I not agree with? Should I not agree with people maybe taking a little bit of time before they have a baby, not just having kids willy-nilly? Should I not agree with being responsible for your own actions and not blaming somebody else? Why shouldn't I agree with that?
I mean, I think it kind of depends on the lens through which you view it. In terms of like, I guess like this is something that bothers me. If you want, we can actually go through the video, I guess specifically, so we know exactly what I took offense with what you said. But just kind of like talking about that point, because this is probably going to be like the fundamental root of most of our disagreement. The idea that like you have responsibility for your own actions. That statement really bothers me, depending on who's saying it. I mean, like to some extent, I mean, we kind of have responsibility over actions, but we can't really pretend that everybody has the same opportunities or the same even like decision-making faculty as everybody else in the country. If somebody grows up in like a middle-class family, goes to a really nice school, and is making all of these good life decisions versus somebody that literally grows up like in a single-parent household and is in a like really fucked neighborhood. Does it bother you if I use like the F word or anything, or would you prefer me not to? Or?
Oh man, you can do whatever you want, man. It's all good.
Okay, yeah. Like when people live in like these much more despondent kind of situations, it bothers me a little bit when I hear people from much better off places saying things like, "Oh, like you just got to make better choices." Like that really bothers me.
All right. This doesn't fully bother me. Like you have to describe what it is that you mean. So I am not against people saying, "Oh, you are in a bad neighborhood. This is how you can do better. Here is how I'm going to help you do better." That doesn't bother me. So this conversation will probably be uncomfortable for some people because it is a conversation about agency versus like society and institution and how they interplay and whether or not people can self-actualize, right? And I think you need to pay a lot of attention to detail in this conversation. So this is probably why, not probably, this is why I wanted to play it. So putting that out there. By the way, this is 4 years ago, so his here is obviously different, just FYI.
Just for the record, if I ever say anything that you disagree with, or if you feel like I'm unfairly characterizing your argument, or if I'm like talking too much, you can interrupt me at any time, right? It won't bother me.
Oh, no doubt. Okay. So my situation, I grew up in a single parent household in the hood, but I was always able to make my own decisions. It wasn't like, okay, because we live in this area, I'm in a single parent household, we don't have any money, that I have to be some kind of victim. And I think that too many of us just hold on to that. We hold on to people saying, oh, because you grew up in a bad area, you grew up with no money, that you have carte blanche to just do whatever you want and wreck society. I don't buy into that, which is why I speak the way I speak, because there is no excuse. If I made it, you can too. I know a lot of guys that's in jail, a lot of guys I grew up with, they made bad decisions. And a lot of them say that they look up to me. Guys that even older than me say that.
Drop a 1 in the chat if you believe if I made it, you can too. Drop a 2 if you believe it's more complicated than that. I just want to see where my chat is. So drop a 1 if you believe if I make it, you can too. Drop a 2 if you believe it's more complicated than that. I just want to make sure that I know who I'm talking to. All right, let's see. I'm going to play. If I see a 1, I will let you.
Look up to me. They wish that they would have done the things I did. Nobody says, oh, it wasn't my fault, all this, that, and the third. People that I know who grew up just like me, who end up in bad situations, regret what they did and wish would have made my choices. So that's why I speak the way I speak. Does that make any sense?
I mean, yeah, it totally makes sense. I don't know how, I mean, our back.
If you say, so I saw like a couple, someone said it's giving Kim Kardashian. Yes. It is a loaded question, and it's supposed to be a loaded question. The issue here is if we believe fundamentally that everyone can do that which we have done, we're fundamentally flawed. Like, it is a fundamentally flawed stance. That you made it, even if you have if you are not fully able to read, but you still make it, your life circumstances are very different than every other person, even like if we narrow it down to the individual level. Now, obviously, we're talking about large groups of people, but this idea that if I can make it, everyone else can, unless you are saying you are the most disadvantaged in absolutely every measure of the word, and so you represent the bottom of the bottom of the bottom compared to everyone else. So if you can make it, then by extension, everyone else should be able to make it. But no one is completely disadvantaged. We all have, if we look hard enough, some kind of advantage that puts us at different spaces. And I think a statement such as, if I make it, anyone can, while we should, I'm not saying don't ever say it, because like obviously we are humans and we're going to say what we're going to say, but know that on some fundamental level, it is not true. Even if you're like a philosophical level, this is not true. It cannot be true. Like, it just cannot be true. You are not the measure for everyone else. You can say that without giving anyone else an excuse.
Friends are probably very dissimilar, but I share some similarities in that my living situation was very, very, very bad before I got into streaming and everything. But I think the difference.
By the way, if you want to challenge that notion, drop a 1 and I will see the 1 so that I can drop the link and put you up.
Difference is that, like, I think it's important to recognize that sometimes you can be an exceptional story, and that you shouldn't necessarily think it's realistic to expect everybody to rise above their circumstances, so to speak. So like, you know,
I mean, why not? Why can't I expect that? I'm not saying that everybody's going to be able to achieve it, but it doesn't mean I can't expect it. Why not expect the best out of people?
I mean, you can try to expect the best out of people, but at the end of the day, we have to be realistic about what people can do. And like, we have so much data in terms of if you're born into a certain family, the likeliness that you'll attend college, the likeliness that you'll have a child out of wedlock, like all of these things can be massively predicted, like at the moment of a person's birth. And I think it hurts us as a society to pretend that we can just expect everybody to overcome their circumstances and make amazing things out of their lives, because I don't think that's like ever worked in the history of all of mankind. Like, it's just not how people function. Go ahead.
So do you just give up and say, well, since I was born in this situation, I'm not going to be able to make it? Should you not actually try to do anything for yourself? Should there be no expectation of you being able to break that chain, and then when you have a family of your own, you'll be able to live better than you lived growing up?
No, I mean, I totally, like, if I was talking to an individual, I would absolutely, or even talking to people, like, I'd absolutely say that, like, you should always try to rise above. You should try to, don't be a victim, try to accomplish as much as you can. Life is going to hand you lemons sometimes, do what you can with it. But realistically, if I'm talking about, there's a difference between, like, this is a message that I would send to an individual versus enacting policy for the country. If we're talking about, like, policy for the country, what we have to do is you have to create environments that allow people to succeed, not keep them in shit environments and then expect them to rise above, because people in general don't do that.
What kind of policy would you have that would allow somebody to make proper choices for themselves? I mean, I don't.
All right, this is where it gets heated. At this point, it's going to get really messy after this point. But this is something that I also agree with, and I'm hoping that people in the chat agrees with it. But if you don't, let me know, and you guys can come up. The issue is that while I recognize systemic issue and I will talk about systemic issues, my message is to the individual, right? And so what Destiny says here, I think is really important because I'm talking to the individual about self-help essentially, right? But if I'm thinking about policy making, I'm thinking about policy making from a broader scale about the stats, right? This is why research is so important. When we think about how it is that we make policy, we rely on large data set to understand what is happening in the world and how we can do the best for the most amount of people possible. That's roughly kind of how we get not the road. That's roughly how we do policy making. I don't like my voice right now. I'm so sorry. Thank you for going live, doing some work, and saw this. Yay! Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think my voice just went out for 2 seconds. We gonna get through it. I'm not done. I'm watching all of it. So yeah.
Understand, because a lot of this stuff just really boils down to choices. What kind of policy would you implement that would help in that goal?
I mean, we could go through a number. I mean, things like access.
Education, that would be my first policy. Education. I think every child born in the US, if we're talking about the US, should have access to quality education regardless, K through 12, regardless of where they're from. I believe that fundamentally. That is one. I guess that's the socialist idea. I don't know why that is even partisan, but that's one socialist idea that I have. Every child should have access to quality education.
Access to birth control for poor people, I think that should be like a given. Like that should be state funded, 100% free for any
birth control. Now, when we say birth control, what do you mean? Explain, because to
it
me,
could be the pill for women, which carries other medical benefits, or even condoms for men.
Okay, I mean, condoms, those are free right now, free clinics. The pill, I'm not really sure about how much the pill costs, but
Isn't it like $20 for like a box of condoms? They can be cost prohibitive. I mean,
not really. You know, it depends on how many you get. If you get in like a bulk pack, maybe it costs that much. But regardless, you can still get them for free, like at the local clinic. It's not something that is cost prohibitive. You can get them for free many times. But
Honeybee, now you are in timeout talking about Dr. Umar's school is ready. Sorry, no.
Is that the only thing you think is birth control as far as the pill and condoms, or do you include abortion?
I mean, you could include abortion if you want, sure, as well.
Well, I don't include abortion. I was just asking you because abortion is not birth control. Because if you're killing a baby, you're not controlling birth. You're just terminating birth. You're just preventing birth from happening of a developing baby.
Sure, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I'm actually ethically pro-life. I actually very strongly share that point of view. But the fact is that right now in the United States, wealthier people tend to have access to abortion more so than poor people. So it's not really like an even playing field. Whether or not you think it's right or wrong, if you're wealthy, it's much easier for you to get an abortion than it is if you're not wealthy, right? You're more likely to carry a baby to term and give birth to somebody in a fucked up environment than a wealthier person that could just say, oh, fuck it, and then go to a clinic and get an abortion, right?
Well, I don't think abortion is something that anybody should be doing, rich or poor. So they just say that's an uneven playing field. You know, that's not really the thing. And then as far as it being like a poverty thing, I'm not really sure how that makes any sense, because in New York City, in the year 2012, at least that's the year I have the data on it. I'm not really sure if it's a year-to-year consistent thing. But in 2012 in New York City, more Black babies were aborted than were actually born by a margin of 6,500. So I don't think they have a problem with getting access to abortion.
Well, just because more Black babies were aborted than born doesn't necessarily mean that it disproves the idea that poor people have worse access to abortion than wealthier people do, because there might just be a lot of white babies being born. Those numbers don't necessarily prove that. And also,
no. When I say it more, I say it more Black babies were. So you have more Black babies aborted than were actually born. I don't mean there were more. You know, I'm talking about Black versus Black. So you're talking about 18,500 live. 18,000 abortions, 18,500 abortions versus 12,000 live births.
Okay.
That are Black in New York City, and that same pattern can be seen all around the country. There have been 20 million Black babies that have been aborted since 1973 Roe v. Wade, and we're only about 36 million total in the United States. Our population should be about 25 to 30% higher. So I think that abortion is a thing that we most certainly have easy access to, too much access to.
You don't necessarily know that, because you can't tell me how many poor Black people wanted to get an abortion but couldn't. Just because there were a lot doesn't mean there couldn't have been more. And this could also point to a problem.
Should there be more? I mean, there's already more than it's actually being born. So how many more can you actually get? We're already in the red. So how many more could he get?
In the United States, I would argue that because right now we have decided, or the Supreme Court has decided, that abortion is something that you should be able to pursue. If you want to get an abortion, you should be able to get one. So how many more should there be? It's however many more people would have wanted to get one but couldn't have afforded to otherwise.
I mean, what if it's to the point where all the black people what if it's to the point where everybody poor just gets wiped away? There's no more black people because we all abort the babies. Like right now, the birth rate in the black community is 1.83, which is below the replacement of 2.1. It's even worse for white Americans.
Yeah, white is lower than black at that point. But I mean, like, my goal would be, or the idea would be that I don't think that black people don't ever want to.
I would never let this go. I would not let this go. This is a dumb, idiotic argument. You cannot, what Anthony Brian Logan wants to say here is that he's against abortion and that abortion should be limited, particularly because in the black community, there are more black babies being aborted than being born in his calculation. I did not look into his calculation. The problem with his statement is that is not what he's saying. That is absolutely, someone said Sinji. Is Sinji here? I don't see Sinji. Welcome, Sinji. I don't see him. Welcome, hinted by Marina, LB, Yogo, everyone. But I don't see Sinji, but I see people saying welcome, Sinji, so she's here. All right. The argument isn't that. That is not the argument being made here. If you disagree with abortion, that's a separate argument. If you're saying it is too easy for people to have access to abortion and saying there is people who want abortion have access to it, that is not, you cannot prove that. You cannot prove that by saying that the number of people who've been getting abortion is high in the black community. Therefore, there is an ease of access for black people. That's not how you prove it. You're looking at the outcome and deciding, oh, because there's so many people on the other side of the equation, i.e. having abortion, that means the people who want abortion have access to it. That is not true. Literally, absolutely not true. It's giving WANAB. WANAB, W-A-N-A-B. All right, let's continue.
Have babies. I think that what happens is poor people tend to get babies earlier than non-poor people for a variety of reasons, and more black people tend to be poor as a percentage than white people. So my guess would be that.
All right, David, you can join. Here you go. We're going to take a break from this. You can join by clicking this link that I just sent out. And it's not like I'm not debating you or anything. I just want to give you the opportunity to explain yourself, because I think so often we are in echo chambers online, and we should allow for other people and other voices to be heard. Give me 2 seconds. Hey, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I am doing well. Let's be even on the screen. All right. So last time you came on, I think we didn't fully understand, and I saw you were commenting in the in under the video. So I apologize first for not being allowing you to say your piece. So let's start with, you said you have trouble finding women in America. Let's start there. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So, well, let me also clear the air on my end. So I was trying to be very direct, and I have to keep in mind that usually it's an interview type of thing when you're joining these kind of spaces, not a discussion. So it's really hard to articulate it without, like you say, going off into a rant. So considering that neither one of us are trying to gaslight the other, yeah, we can have an honest conversation. So as far back as I can remember, it has always been a bit of a challenge, because from what I get is the skin color, the ethnicity, the racial dynamics here in America create this kind of awkwardness that I can't seem to understand when it comes to approaching Black women, particularly. And I really only exclusively, date Black women in America. I am Black, both of my parents, all of my grandparents, that's all I know. So I don't have a sense of multicultural identity to raise here. Now I'm trying not to go off on a rant, but that's what I'll start with. It's just the racial dynamic does disturb what I think should be a much easier experience.
So you try to date Black women specifically in the US. And have you ever tried to date any other race of women?
Yeah. Outside of women who are not from the US, I have no problem. Occasionally I've dated a white woman, but it hasn't been very, the experience wasn't very fulfilling for me. And it's not to say that it couldn't be, but I am not particularly drawn to them. There's nothing, about that. Latina women are fine. And outside of that, I mean, there's not really much, there's Asian women, but that's not a lot of that here. And I look at mixed women of different backgrounds as counting. So if a woman is Black and Mexican, well, in a way, I'm dating a Mexican woman as well, but that kind of is my perspective. So, yeah.
Twitter said, "Where's state to report an unsafe driver?" He's fine. All right. So
I couldn't even make out what was that?
Oh, it was a comment from the chat about Allstate.
About policy and safety.
Okay. Yeah. So you are dating Black women in the United States, and you're dating women in the Western women in the United States, and you are not having any luck, partly because they're too picky.
Well, that's how it seems, and I thought. See, it's funny because a lot of the backlash comments were like, "I need to look at myself," and what people don't understand is that I have done that. I continuously do that. That's always a factor in when I'm looking at what's going on. So I don't mind looking at my faults or looking at the areas that I need to improve on. That's not an issue. I mean, there's certain things I need to work on.
You don't have to
tell you a couple because I'm not. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So I can tell you a couple because I'm not here to beat up on myself. So definitely being in better physical fitness. That's definitely one. That's the one that I would give the most respect to. I can have no problem with one say, hey, you need to be in better shape. And that is a sign of a person who has a good sense of self-reflection, who is looking at themselves and isn't just crying and complaining. But when you look beyond that, the excuses are very strange. They're very unusual. I think what I get is it's a nice guy finished last syndrome. And that's it.
All right, but you think you are a nice guy, I'm assuming?
I do not have malicious. I can't even relate to a malicious type of a mentality. So I see it. I hear people talk about it. Women even talk about it. And I've definitely been selfish. And that, is definitely a thing. But I don't have any maliciousness. So, yeah, it's boring. Niceness is boring. I just talked to someone about that. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just talking to someone about that, in person. We were talking about that. He was like, dude, you don't understand. He's like, the nice guys that are genuinely nice are just boring to a lot of women. They're not interested. And he's right. At least in the United States. Right. Now, to the audience of whomever, you may say, well, that's not my experience, or I'm not like that. Well,
no. This is your no. This is your truth, and I don't think one of the things that I reflected on when I rewatched our conversation earlier, I realized that I was pushing back a lot and say, well, I do this and I do this, and I think we are just two different people having two very different experiences, and it's not fair for me to superimpose that which happens to me and the men that I know onto you and your experience. So that there's none of that. No more of that will happen tonight. So
I appreciate
on that, I apologize. So You are
Well, another thing to keep in mind is when you gave your experience, did I diminish and deride you? No, I said the first thing I said was, well, let me walk a mile in your shoes, and I was being sincere when I said that. If what you're saying is true, then I want to see it, because like, I'm not gay, I'm not into any of that, but I have been accused because of how I carry myself of possibly giving off those kind of vibes. And that's another thing that a lot of black men have to put up with in America, is that when we're not hyper aggressive and malicious, when we don't have that kind of streak, that kind of so-called swag, our sexuality is questioned. And that's not right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're gay, if you're bi or whatever, okay, fine. Hey, that's your business. But for heterosexual men, heterosexual black men who are just being themselves, we should not have to change for that. And I take great offense to that, because it pigeonholes us. I'm never going to be like that. I'm never going to go after men, and I'm never going to change how I enunciate my words or how I carry myself. I should not have to. I shouldn't have to choose one or the other. It's like Michael B. Jordan. That's when I went off on the rant. Michael B. Jordan got called out as a closet homosexual because he hugged another actor. It's ridiculous.
Well, you might
So,
not want to use
there's that.
Michael B. Jordan, but to the I don't fully disagree with you. I think there is something to be said about our culture that uses homosexuality as an insult against men who are not gangsters and thugs. I agree with you. Using it against me, for example, wouldn't be a problem, but I can understand how generally people take issue with that. But I think the Michael B. Jordan conversation is interesting for a couple of reasons. But before I get there, do you think it's women? Do you find that women are the ones attacking you in the way that people are attacking Michael B. Jordan? Do you think women are the ones saying Michael B. Jordan is gay and things like that?
It's not an attack. See, I don't look at it as an attack. I look at it as an ignorance. It's like you saying, no, it would be like someone saying, I don't like black men. Why? Because they're all thugs, but they're not. You know, it's a lot of women have told me in the past that they had a different first impression of me than when they got to know me. And I used to ask why.
Wait, can we step back? Let's use Michael B. Jordan, because I want to step out of your experience for a moment.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you think women, black women specifically, dislike Michael B. Jordan because he's not a thug? Is that what you gather from what's happening online?
What I gathered was that the women who expressed a disdain for him explained that he is not exciting. He's dull to them because he's not carrying what's called swag. And I saw him in a couple of interviews. I think one was with Oprah, I forget. And the way he carried himself was like me. I could see the way that he interacts, the way that he expresses himself, and I could see that he's just a normal, regular, everyday person.
If you could throw out just relatively speaking, who do you think the biggest fan of Michael B. Jordan is? Like as a demographics point.
I really, honestly,
I can tell you.
I have to randomly guess. And it may be women. I said, and it may be women, but that's
not just women, black women. Michael B. Jordan's career is built on the backs of black women. So for me, when I'm hearing you speak, it's like I obviously want to validate your experience, but when you say men like you and Michael B. Jordan aren't the ones who quote unquote get played, it's strange to hear, because I know that black women build up black men like Michael B. Jordan. Like his career, like before he was even as big, he was a black celebrity being essentially worshipped by black women and propped up, and they funded his life. Like literally he is who he is now because black women saw him as attractive and a quote sex symbol. I don't know why, because he can't act, but this is what black women wanted.
So can I respond to that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So two problems. One, that is celebrity. That's entertainer. Okay. And I've
No,
made
no,
it
no, wait,
clear.
no, no, wait. I have to stop you because you're the one who brought him up to highlight the way in which black women don't like certain men, certain kinds of black men. You put him up as an archetype for the kind of black man you are. And what I do know is black women, by and large, go after these characters. And so maybe they do that on the TV screen, but not in life. But they did build his career up. So maybe you want to change your archetype. I don't know. Maybe it's not Michael B. Jordan.
Okay. Can I make my response in this time? Please, please don't interrupt. Okay. Even if it seems like you have to, just please resist the urge. Michael B. Jordan is a celebrity. He's an entertainer. And there's one thing, there's two things to that. One, even Kevin Samuels made it clear, is that you do not include entertainers and celebrities in this dynamic. The fact
You said
is,
don't interrupt, but I will. I didn't bring up Michael B.
well, then I'll never get my
Jordan.
point across then.
Yeah, no, because okay, so we
That's
can
okay.
do this way, or we can be like unkind to each other. You brought up Michael B. Jordan.
I'm not
You did
showing
that.
unkindness. I'm not being unkind to you.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
trying to make a
When I
valid
say
point, but I can't
unkind,
do it. That's
wait.
not unkind.
When I say unkind, I'm talking about the grace you give people in a conversation.
Right. I don't interrupt.
Yes, I let you speak for almost 3 minutes. I was watching the clock and I made sure I didn't interrupt. You
Right.
were the one, sua sponte, who brought up Michael B. Jordan.
Right.
So when you say you don't bring up celebrities in these conversation, please note that you were the one who brought Michael B. Jordan up. In fact, you didn't know this, but I was trying to let you lead me through this conversation.
I did know that.
was going, yeah, and I was going wherever you were going, and you brought up Michael B. Jordan. You explained how he's the archetype that is like you, that black women don't like, and I showed you that black women do actually like him, gave him a career, and now you are telling me not to use celebrities when you're the one who used the celebrity.
May I speak now?
Yeah.
Okay, so
You may
I did not.
respond to what I just say.
Well, no, because there's two caveats to what you're saying that do not fit. Okay, if you want to force me to answer the way you want to, then how about this? I'll try to be as kind as I can. You're right and I'm wrong. And then we can just be done. And you can just say, hey, I explained it to this guy and he was inconsistent and we're done. Now, the kindness would be for
You're
you to
not
hear me.
you're not a good guy. Let me just
Okay,
explain.
well,
What
I'm not a
you're
good
showing-
guy. So
What you're showing right now is that you are not a good guy. You are someone
Right.
who gaslights in order to get your point across. And instead of actually having a conversation when you're uncomfortable, you just try to interrupt and derail a conversation. I am not troubled. I am not perturbed by anything that you're doing right now. Just FYI.
That doesn't matter to me, though. That doesn't. None of that matters to either one of us. You interrupted me 3 times.
Yes, because you said do not bring up celebrities. Who brought
No, I
up
did not
celebrities?
say that. I didn't say don't bring up celebrities, and I certainly
You
did
want
not
me to
say.
if I rewind the
Play
tape and
back
you
the
said
tape.
that?
Play back the tape.
All right.
Play back the tape. You're gonna see a distinction, and you're gonna say, "Oh, I see what you mean." Had you not interrupted, I could have clarified that, but you won't let me clarify it.
Clarify.
Okay, Michael B. Jordan, before he became a celebrity, before he got on the big screen, had to struggle with being mistreated for trying to focus on his career. That was something that L'Oreal admitted to. I know without a shadow of a doubt, if I got on TV, if I somehow got into the media and I started being seen on TV and people found out that I was black, I would get women left and right. It wouldn't be an issue. It would be many, many black women.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a distinction that needs to be heard. The issue with Michael B. Jordan that I was speaking about was strictly about him being pigeonholed as gay, or as being considered boring. Not that women aren't noticing him. They're going to notice him because he's on the TV. He's on the media. So he's literally being seen by a billion people. Yes, statistically speaking, he's going to probably get 20, 30 million women that like him. So this is two different dynamics where you got a person, you have people, everyday black men who come across maybe 1,000 women a day, face-to-face contact, and they have to leave a good first impression, versus Michael B. Jordan, who, when he wasn't a celebrity, he was struggling with the same issues, right?
Right.
And
so
then once he becomes a
talk
celebrity,
now?
it's a different dynamic.
I'm asking if I can speak now because you're repeating
Okay.
yourself. How
Well, I had
did you
to
know
emphasize
how do you know he was mistreated?
He said so.
Nope, he did not.
Yep.
I watched this interview.
Play back the tape.
Wait, what do you mean play back the tape? What did he say? One person called him corny. One woman called him corny.
No.
One lady called him corny.
No. That one woman said something else that was essential. And we can either call her a liar, or we can go honestly and say, yeah, that's true. She acknowledged that the entire school derided him. Yep.
Nope.
Yep.
Michael B. Jordan literally talked about having girlfriends before he was famous.
I watched her in the video describe.
No. Stop. Because here's the thing. You are pretending like Michael B. Jordan before he was famous didn't have girlfriends. Can you concede? Wait. All right then. Can you concede that Michael B. Jordan had girlfriends before he was famous?
I can concede because I never denied it in the first place.
All right, great. So what is the problem?
I had girlfriends during these hard times. I didn't have. It's not that I couldn't get a girlfriend at all.
How many do you need?
Why are you asking me how many do I need? One. What is your point?
Exactly.
What does it have to do with what I'm saying? It's unrelated to what I'm saying.
Because you don't have the kinds of access that other groups of men have, that is a problem. Why is it a problem that you don't have the kind of access other groups have?
The kind of access is what would make me feel happy and fulfilled for having a companion. The kind of access is the kind of access that leads me to feel like I am achieving what is my potential. The kind of access isn't about status.
Wait, that is not your potential. Look, it is not your potential. You don't have that potential.
Says who? Says who?
Says the women you are trying to date.
No. That's another mistake that you made. Because you don't.
How are you going to make them? How are you going to make them? How are you going to make them want to? How are you going to make them want to? How are you going to make them want to?
Okay, I'm going to answer your questions in the order that they were asked. Okay. First of all, women in my past have acknowledged that they had a different impression, a wrong impression of me based upon something that has nothing to do with me. Okay. And the idea that I have to go through those kind of hurdles is not rational to me. The idea of being too good to be true, the idea of being not black, the idea of trying to use women for sex, and on and on. The idea that I would have to prove myself from the very beginning before I can even be given a chance is absurd. And it turned out that a significant portion, and it ended up becoming the majority of women, of black women that I ended up getting involved with about all that drama, were women from other countries or whose parents were from other countries. I would find out, oh, wait, your mom's from Ghana? Oh, I didn't know that. Or your mom's from Nigeria? Oh, okay, cool.
All right, so let's step back off the potential, because I don't want to be mean to you. Because if I continue this way, it's not you. I'm just going to move. What is your solution? How do you realize your potential? Do you think you need to be a passport bro then?
Well, first of all, what is a passport bro? To me, a passport bro, passport king, I apologize to the passport kings. The passport king is a person that constantly is working on improving themselves, first of all. Because in order for you to go to another country, you have to appreciate people of different backgrounds and different ethnicities automatic. You can't go in with that American mindset. So that requires, searching within yourself and learning how to be beyond your own perspective. That's something I was raised to do anyway. Okay, I don't have a sense of seeing another culture and having to watch whether or not I'm going to make a snide remark or be judgmental. I'm not like that. Okay, that's a plus. That's a good quality that women seek who are healthy-minded women. Okay, I don't sit up here and try to compare myself to other people, to compare myself to other cultures or other backgrounds. I don't look at my American background and say, well,
do you have a
you know,
passport?
yes,
Have
yes,
you
I
been
do. I
traveling?
did this 12 years ago. I
Yeah,
did.
have you been
That's why I was
traveling?
so fascinated with this, huh?
Have you been traveling?
Yes, I went to
For how
Ethiopia.
long? For
I
how
was there for a
long?
few weeks. I was there
No,
for a
no,
few
no, no.
weeks.
How long have you been traveling for, cumulatively?
I don't know, a good 6 months total in my life.
Over what span of what year?
I don't know. I mean, we can look back at different years. I need you to tell me what is the point. You're saying I haven't traveled enough?
No, no, no,
If
no.
we
I'm
can
just
skip
trying to
that part.
understand. Have you been traveling?
I have,
I'm
let
trying.
me make it real easy for you. I have traveled enough to where I can understand that when you go to another part of the world and you respect their customs and traditions and cultures and you're not pandering, that people genuinely appreciate that. I can go to
Oh,
Nigeria, I can go to Ethiopia and relate to
all
the
right.
people there because I don't sit up here and act like I'm better than them or of a
Good.
more
No, no,
refined
that's fine.
culture.
That's actually a good thing.
Right.
So, would you say you've been traveling since 2015?
No, since 2002.
Oh, period. Were you an adult at that time?
It's a lot of questions about my travel itinerary, my friend. I don't know how much
No,
time we have.
are you an adult? Were you an adult at that time?
Yes.
Um, and are those women overseas, are they sweet, soft, submissive? Are they better in your
Well, I'm not going
experience?
to say better. I don't look at better. The women there are, in my view, normal. There's a range. There are some women who look. You go to Ethiopia. There are some women there that are into the Western culture. 100%. That's them. They're fascinated with that. Okay, fine. You can go to
Mhm.
Nigeria. There's women over there that are totally bought into the American culture. That's fine, but it's not so prevalent that that's the majority.
So it's
Okay.
easier to date over there.
If I were to go to Nigeria, where I clearly would stand out, at the very least, because I would respect their culture, respect the various cultures there, I would have some knowledge of the history and the cultures in the part of Nigeria that I'm at. Notice I said the part of Nigeria that I'm at. Okay, that I would relate with a deference and respect to their culture, make friendships there, try to interact with people and understand how, like in Nigeria, they
Is
got these
it better for,
amazing.
so why aren't you married?
I
Why aren't
was,
you?
I was,
Oh, what
I was married
happened?
for 10 years. I
What
got
happened?
divorced. I got divorced.
You divorced
Okay.
your wife?
I wanted the divorce, and it was because of me. It was because I was having a very hard time having faith in that relationship. We moved way too fast. I never got over it, and I handled it very badly. I want you to notice how, if I am so immature and so out of touch, how is it that I can sit up here and look at myself in front of your audience and acknowledge that I was the majority of the problem in my marriage with my ex-wife from Ethiopia? See, I'm
Wait,
not
did you?
doing it to promote myself. I'm doing this because the
Wait,
other
you don't.
men,
Wait, is there a
ma'am.
lag?
Okay,
You
there's a lag. I
talk
apologize.
for like hour, like minutes on
Put
end,
the
and when I
clock up.
interrupt, huh? What did
It's
you say?
48:16. It's saying 48:16. I'll take less than 1 minute to make my point.
No, you don't. You go on and
I'm
on
saying
and
from this point
on.
forward, I'll make less than 1 minute to make my point.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, so you got the woman from overseas, you said.
Yes,
You married
yes,
her and then you divorced her because you were
yes,
majority of the problem. And then you're complaining about American women not wanting to date you and that you're going to be a passport bro and that you are a passport king, sorry. And
yes.
you're going to go get people who date. You did marry one from
So,
overseas.
and,
And
and
you said it didn't work because of
no,
you.
I didn't say it didn't work. No, listen to me. I did not. This is why let me take my 1 minute to speak. It's 49:02. So, to the other men out there, here's what you must do. You must keep in mind to pace yourself when you meet someone from overseas if you're seeking marriage. You have to have a good sense to communicate to them very upfront about your boundaries and where you need to feel reassured, because the women don't want to be treated like a housewife. They don't want to be treated like, oh, you're just trying to get a housewife. And I can understand that. So you have to make sure that you're relating to such a degree that you are sure that the person can trust you, that you can trust the person, and that you can
Okay, I'm
accept
done.
marriage.
So here
That was
we
less
don't
than
have
1
to.
minute.
Pause. No, we don't have to continue the conversation. Here's why. You don't know how to engage. You just want to go on manifesto. We're not having a conversation, by the way. You are just talking. You just talk, and you're not responsive at all. And I've never actually had this happen. I've had a ton of men come on that I literally agreed. Some of them even yelled at me. And I've never had the um this where it feels like you are not even synthesizing any of the information that like it's just like you are on your soapbox and you're just talking. I am trying to understand. You said the women in America are
Right.
not good for dating so far as they are too picky. Essentially, they want too much.
That's
They
not
do.
what I said. That's not what I said. So part of your problem is that you take what I say and you add or you take away something that's essential, and then you insist that that's what I meant in the first place.
What did
So
you
you're
say
going to
about
continue to
African
have this
American
problem,
women? What did you say
huh?
about African? What did you
I
say
said
about African
I
American
said
women?
that for me specifically, my ethnic appearance throws off a lot of African American women to where they make assumptions and presumptions about me that causes them to not want to date me. They've admitted it. Okay. Secondarily,
Mhm.
Black women are picky in general. And so that has been shown in the bad choices that are prevalent. Too many thugs and too many Pookie and Ray Rays are getting too many women, and they shouldn't be. And these are the same women that will complain about not enough good Black men are out there.
Okay,
So it's
stop. See
not
what I'm
me.
talking about. This is the problem.
I just answered you. I took
I
less than
am
a minute.
I am telling you to explain your situation,
And
and
I
you keep
did.
going off into these really bizarre Pookies and Ray Rays and
There's
blah blah
nothing
blah, and you're
bizarre
the good
about that.
guy. I am
There's nothing
asking
bizarre
you
about
about
any of that.
you.
I lived in the hood. I lived in the hood of Detroit, and I saw it and witnessed it. It's common and prevalent. It's a factor in why it's hard for me to get those kind of women. And then so we
Yes,
would simply say, oh, well, those are not good types of women. Okay.
yeah, those women
At
agree.
22.
We are saying those women don't want you. Is that a fair statement?
I would definitely say that's a fair statement.
All right, so Black women in America don't want you.
I didn't say all that. See, you did it again.
Who don't want you then? Who
I
don't
just
want
said
you?
you just agreed that the women in the hood mentality is what we were speaking of. They're not
Okay, then
interested in me in the
that is true.
future.
If
They
other
look
Black
pretty,
women
but that's
want
about
you,
it.
if other women want you, why not go date those other women outside of the hood?
They're few and far between, and when I come across them, I come to find out that they have a background that is from Africa or the Caribbean
So,
or from elsewhere.
all right, so Black women in America who are African American don't want you.
Your audience will prove it to you right now.
I'm asking you, do Black women want you?
Not from my, no, as far as I can see, no. The answer is no.
So that's what I just said, and you were like, no, that's not what I said.
No, you were making it look like I was trying to pigeonhole all Black women as having that hood mentality. What I'm trying to get across to you is that there may be women out there, but I don't
All right,
come across them. It's a
from your
statistical thing. It's just like
experience,
what I said
Black
to
women
Michael B.
don't
Jordan.
want you. All right, great. So when you go overseas, those the women overseas want you. By the way, I'm in support of Passport Kings. I don't know why anyone is getting hyped up at all, because I'm fully in support of Passport. They're kings now, Passport Kings.
Okay.
Just put that out there. So women
Okay.
overseas want you.
Well, when I was in New York, I fell in love with this woman who was very beautiful, very elegant, and she was in college. She was in a SUNY college, and she said something that was really amazing to me. She says, I want to wait until a while to have sex. And I asked her, because I was already conditioned to this BS. I said, well, am I just some nice guy that you're just trying to use for attention and, just to have someone nice to hang around? She's like, no, I really like you. It's just that I really want to focus on my studies. And I think that the sex will be a distraction. And I said, well, if you genuinely care about me, if you're genuinely interested in me, I can wait as long as you like. And I meant it. Turns out that her mother's from Jamaica and her father's from St. Nevis or St. Kitts. And she introduced me to her family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if I am so blah, blah, all this negative stuff about my character and personality,
But what
how in the
happened with that
world could I
relationship?
possibly be able to make something work with a woman like that?
Wait, you did make it work. It's not working. You were here complaining about women. It did not work.
You just keep ignoring what I said. Her mother is
It
from
did not.
Jamaica and her father is from St. Nevis or St. Kitts. They're
Yeah.
they're not a typical African American culture. They're not. No, that's fine.
That's fine. So the international women don't want you either. I don't understand.
That's
I am
because you're not listening.
confused.
You take what I'm saying and then it's like you take half of what I'm saying, ignore the other half. I don't understand it. To everyone else in here, if the woman is strictly African American and their culture and they were raised here, which is Detroit, like 90-something% of the women in the Detroit area are just American women, Americanized. It's not going to work. If the woman is from a culture or some background, at least their parents to some degree, it's a good chance it'll work. I don't see why it's hard to understand.
It didn't work. The good chance that it worked is what's bizarre to me because it didn't work. It hasn't worked for you. You have dated, even married women from overseas, and it didn't
I'm not
work.
talking about relationships. I'm talking about basic dating. I'm not here to complain that I'm not married. I'm not here to complain that I can never like go on dates and develop a relationship. I'm here to explain that the first step is nearly impossible with Americanized women for a lot of black men in this country. It's just not possible. Once you get past the first or second step, it's not a problem. Come on,
You
man.
literally came on
Are we
and said,
going to be able to relate or not? I mean, like you.
no,
invited me on.
you literally came on last time and said black women find you attractive and they will go out with you, but they won't come back for a second
I didn't.
date.
Nope. That's not what I said. I didn't
You
say
said
they
your
would walk.
friend.
No, I did not play back the tape.
You said the same thing about your friend.
No, I said that me and him both have a hard time getting with a black woman. That means you start off dating, you get past the first phone call, you get past, let me get your phone number. That's like starting a rapport with the person. Okay,
all right, so if you don't want a relationship,
it's like you're not listening.
If you don't want a relationship with these women, why are you taking them out on dates? Why do you want to go on dates?
What are you talking about? I don't want a relationship now. Where did you get that from?
You just said
you like extrapolate something that is not.
I put you in the back, so if you're talking, no one can hear you. If you're gonna leave, you can leave. But if you want to talk to me, we're not doing that. Absolutely not. My throat is hurting. I am actually kind of sick, so this is not going well for me. What you did, FYI, is you said it's not about a relationship. I'm talking about the first date. It doesn't make sense to me that you are complaining when I'm saying, why aren't you in a relationship with someone that you claim it's easier for? So if they're like, oh, I'll date you because I don't know why, I just like you physically, and they date you, but they won't go in a relationship with you, there is also a problem about a relationship. So if you say African American women don't want me, then okay. But it seems like the other groups of women don't want you, or maybe you're the one who don't want them. I don't like the fact that if I am trying to deduce something from what you're saying, tell me I'm wrong and then tell me the right thing. Don't tell me I'm wrong and then go on to explain how I'm right. That kind of conversation is very annoying to me. If I'm wrong, say I'm wrong and explain the alternative. What country is their kingdom?
For the third time, I'm going to explain to you the alternative. Finding a
woman. No, wait. All right.
Okay, well, I can't do it.
Yeah, no, you can. Here's what we are doing. If you want to talk to me about something specific, let me know. But if I have certain questions for you, then I'm asking you specific kind of questions. Then you can say, okay, can I talk about something else? And I will let you do that.
I'm already answering one of your specific questions, okay? I was already doing that. So
my
in regard to your specific question about relationship, I wasn't even speaking about the relationship aspect. I'm speaking about the basic dating aspect. This entire thing is centered around dating. Please don't interrupt. The idea of getting a
okay.
person's
See,
phone
you
number.
telling me not to interrupt is gonna have me
There you go.
interrupt.
There you go. You can't. There's no way you're gonna understand me. It's impossible.
Yeah,
And
because
you know what's so funny? This is close to what women do. So many American women do this. They jump so quickly when they hear word 2 and word 3 before they hear word 5. And then the idea of
because it
trying to
takes too long
explain
to talk. You
oneself
don't have
becomes
the
impossible.
bandwidth. I'm done. Goodbye. I'm done. All right. Well, I have a brunch to go to. Have a wonderful time. I have a brunch. I can't. Y'all are ridiculous. I am not about to do that. These men want to come up here and just lay out their manifesto, and I ain't got time for it. The way my mind is set up, I can't do it. I may retract on this whole. I am about to go talk to men. I probably can't do it, girl. I don't know how you do it. And he literally says, you are like the African American women. I am like the women. If how you talk to me and treat me and engage with me is how you treat and talk to those women, I understand why none of them want to be with you. This is frustrating. This literally, I didn't even get to my Destiny video. This is so frustrating. Thinking you go live. Woo. Look, I said, new year, new me. I won't be attacking people. I won't be debating people. I will allow people the space. But these men don't even know what they want. These men do not know. It's like we had a great relationship. I married someone from overseas, Ethiopia. We came back. It was a 10-year marriage. And then I also wanted to figure out, if Themis doesn't mind, I may review. Now you know I don't mind. Now you know I don't mind. Also drag me. I am giving you permission to drag me because I'm sick. But here's why I would drag me. I decided, I'm still gonna do it. I have decided that I'm going to talk to men and I'm going to be as gracious and as open as I can be, right? And so in me doing that, I recognize, I have a ton of super chats. I have to read the super chats first. I realize that in doing that, I'm going to get a lot of people who just want to like preach. And part of the issue that I have is if we're engaging in this conversation, I am going to expect that you are able to be responsive to the questions that I'm asking, that you're going to be coherent, and that you're going to be able to understand what it is that you were saying in the beginning and how it relates to what you're saying in the end. Right? If you have women and men want relationship and marriages, if you're saying, oh, all I want is a date, I don't want a relationship, then you're wasting people's time. I need that clarified. Okay, great. You had Black American women, ADOS women don't want you. So you say you have better choices and relationships and better opportunities with people outside of the US. Okay, fine. You were married for 10 years to a woman from Ethiopia and you wrecked that marriage. And you're a good guy because you can reflect and know that you wrecked that marriage. Have you done the work you needed to do to not wreck other marriages? Because if those women outside of the US are that great to you, then I'm going to have a problem with you wrecking the marriage, right? That was insanely dishonest what you're doing. And the fact you cannot listen is a testament to your part and how so many people are misunderstanding Black men in this country. Well, sounds fun. Have fun with that. I don't know how people just come up here and try to play the victim all the time. Girl, no. What ages are you dating? The funny thing is we didn't even get to any question. That is a question that I did have about his age group and what he's looking for, all of that. Mature women dislike bad boys. Also, it was larger Black men that accused Michael B. Jordan of being soft. Women like him. Yes, this is true. Thank you. It's cap if you say he's lying. Even with Will Smith, that tag on him, which is why he said marrying Jada was his biggest accomplishment. By the way, yes, I'm not saying he's lying about the culture, but men punish other men more severely regarding how soft they are. Women don't do that. The fact that there are women in my chat right now is an example of the fact that women don't tend to do what y'all are accusing women of engaging in, right? I can't tell you the amount of gay feminine friends I have that used to date women. Because like these men are, well, it's two of them. It's two of my friends who are gay. Well, the women said they're not gonna date the bisexual, which is a whole different story. But they stopped being bisexual and now they're gay girl. Like these women knew. These were first and foremost, these men are pissed at these women for clocking the fact that they were gay. How are you mad at women for knowing that you are gay and not wanting to date you, and then you came out later? Like, how is that a thing? Why? There are two friends, I shouldn't call them friends, there are two associates that are pissed at women for finding out that they were gay before they were willing to come to terms that they were gay. They're now out. And I think it's wrong, by the way, just an FYI, I don't think it's right to be calling people gay when you don't know. But, I mean, I get the jokes and whatever, but if you don't come out as gay, and you were mad, like you are now out. You have told me that you're gay. How are you mad that they didn't want to date you because you were gay? You literally said you were gay now. Like you are open now. You have a boyfriend on Instagram right now, and you're still mad at her for clocking that you were gay and didn't want. She didn't even tell anyone. She didn't go and say, "Oh my God, you're gay," blah blah blah. No, she was like, "Hey, I think you have some work you need to do. You need to get on figure this out, and we can be friends." And you are still mad to this day. You said this guy, not a friend, an associate, said white women were willing to date him and black women weren't because black women kept saying he was gay. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, you are gay. Like you have a boyfriend, right? You have a fiance, sorry, right now. You have a boyfriend right now. You told me you were gay. You are part of the alliance. You do all of this stuff. I support everything. We are, period. Why are you mad at her? Girl, I don't know. David, your attitude is why you're striking out. Yeah. It's very clear. It's not. I don't think it's about him being fat. I don't. He didn't say he was fat. He said he could get in better shape. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's about his looks. I don't think it's about his age. He has a nasty attitude, and he does not listen. And they said Kevin Samuels was given the truth. This is me giving you the truth. It's giving unhinged. I see your all the women in here clock the problem. All of the women in here. He is nice. He is not nice. He's angry, and I see why he's single. Yeah, like it's very clear why he's single. Demon said, you are gay. Wait, put my hashtag back up. Wait, what's my hashtag? WANAB, WANAB. I need my hashtag back up. He's I was going up. I'm trying to get through these super chats quickly before I go. This man is unappealing. Damn punks. 3 out of 10 makes sense for him. Look, here's my hashtag. Where is it? This is what it's giving, and that's what it's giving. I hope here's some more. I see the issue. David considers being nice something that sets him apart and not a bare minimum requirement. Yeah, he does not like having to go through hoops. I don't know. I don't know. Like, if you can have one, it's like, oh, it's to make me feel like a man. It's to make me feel better. It's to make me feel. It's to make me feel. Yeah. Women aren't here to make you feel better about yourself. Women are not here to make you feel better about yourself. Absolutely not. Women are no longer objects in law and in reality because they fully actualize and they're like, we're not about to go back to being essentially a slave. David, you and MJB are not the same, period. Looks like local Rick Fox, but acts like I go from Cosby Show. I don't know what that is. I don't actually. I watched the Cosby Show, but I don't know who that is. So Passport King, where is your wife? The thing is, I kept asking questions. He's like, why are you asking me these questions? I think for anyone watching in the chat, you understood where I was going. If you've been going overseas for so much time, for that long, you should have had a wife. And then you said, oh, I did have a wife. And you ruined that marriage. You ruined that. Like, what? People are like, oh my God, I want to talk to you. Y'all don't want to talk to me. I get what it is. Y'all want to come up here and give me a headache. Today was not the day because I am not feeling well. Not nice at all. Thema shows him grace and he attempts to weaponize it. Don't even think he's aware enough to understand that wasn't a win. Yeah, well, the thing is, this is a platform created by me. What's that man said last night? This is my show. Hit desk, flip desk. When you go into someone's house, you don't get to make the rules, right? And the idea that you think you get to make the rules, I get to talk for 1 minute. No, you can say we can respectfully talk to each other, but you don't set the time limit for which you get to talk. I allowed you to speak, and when you start being redundant, I'm going to cut you off. That's what it is. Like, you're going to talk, but as soon as you start filibustering or I sense any kind of filibustering going on or redundant, I'm going to cut you off. It is what it is. Absolutely not. I don't need you or anyone to think that I'm anything at all. I'm going to cut you off. Passport nomads, broke pocket man can't fool me. Objection, non-response, right? Thank you. Gia says, I stand with you, Passport King. Leave, claim your foreign throne, and walk into your kingship. To really punish us women, renounce your U.S. citizenship. Look, I am for passport bros. If you think you can find love other places, I think you should. The one thing I say is don't be evil to these women. Don't treat them poorly. And please don't bring up the stats around single parenthood and diminish the Black image globally. That's all I'm asking. Like, do you in the best way possible. Like, actually be a good person. I am assuming that because women in America have their own, and some men need to be the well, they don't want to provide, but some men need to feel certain ways about themselves and big and strong and the leader. I think there's some of that in some men. If you want to go live that out, do so, but please address the parts of you that would diminish the Black image globally. Because I promise you that academics and I are going to fight because they're not about to blame systemic racism. Ask David if he's in New York City. Let's date. Period. There's one. There was one. Aren't women in Detroit are in survival mode? They need a man they think will defend them. Sure, take a MMA class. Please don't be responding to this man. I think I don't know if he's still here. People keep saying David. I don't know if he's still here, but if he's still here, please don't be responding to this man. He just came over here to not engage in conversation. Like, and you want to know the sad part? The sad part is I feel like he's going to rewatch this. Him and no one else with common sense is going to do this, but he's going to rewatch this and think, I was treated so unfairly. That's what he's going to do. He's going to rewatch this and say, I was treated so unfairly. I did not treat you unfairly, sir. I actually gave you kindness, and you took that for weakness. He looks like Adolf Hitler and giving those vibes. Not too well. No, you can't do that. Not buying it. It's his tune. He is a shade of Drake, Taylor, etc. Black women are checking for them. His color ain't the his color, race, none of that is the problem. His attitude is the problem. Like he has a really bad attitude. That is that. That is it. That is it. Nothing more, nothing less. He has a bad attitude. So what happened with the Caribbean woman? Girl, he got mad when I said that and said he's not looking for no relationship. I was like, what happened with that? She was great and it was amazing, blah, blah, blah. It's like, people are like, women need to be realistic about their sexual marketplace and their sexual market value. I'm assuming now men need to be realistic because you're talking about all this potential you have in women, blah, blah, blah. But if they don't want you don't have it. Like, it is... If they don't want you don't have it. Like, period. And that's just what it is. You can go even the playing field in another country, right? You can do that. But, like, you don't have it here in the US. It is what it is. You likely speak worse to women, right? Let's not make that miss us. Black women are not obligated to date reject. They're not even, I don't want to call names, but like Black women aren't, there's not an obligation. You don't have to date someone because they show up and say, date me. Even if this person was a good guy, if you're incompatible, you don't have to date. Well, I'm not telling y'all anything you don't know because apparently y'all are not dating him and it's making him mad. I also don't believe him. This is unfair. I will say, I'm going to continue to say it. This part, David, is unfair. And I will admit that I might be wrong, but it is what it is. These men are lying. They're just looking for an excuse to be degenerate overseas. David, I'm from there. You are definitely the problem. Yeah. Thank you. Jay says, have you traveled? I go there. I'm nice to them. I respect their culture. I don't think he ever answered the question directly to them. Yeah, this is the thing. Like, I feel like he's not even hearing the question. Do you travel? Yes. Where do you travel to? These countries. Great. How long? For about 10 years, I've been traveling off and on. The next question is going to be, well, why didn't you marry them? And then he's going to say, I did marry one. I was married for 10 years. I'm like, okay, good on you. Why did it end? You said, oh, it was my fault. So you married someone overseas and you messed up that relationship. Yes. And now you're looking for someone else. Yes. And you want to go overseas with them. Yeah. Okay, go and do that. Why are you talking about American women? Did you want to marry an American woman and mess that up? Is that what you wanted? Did you want to mess up? Because you admitted that you messed up. Look, I'm not doing this with you. Go find someone else and mess that up too. Just sending some love. Thank you. I like love. And the last super chat. This is the most attention David has gotten from a woman in a long time, and he absolutely didn't even know what to do with it. And he absolutely did not know what to do with it. Like, the fact, Manosphere, I know y'all are listening because y'all keep asking me to come on those dusty panels, and I'm not about to do it. I know y'all are listening. Please make these men invest. Like, you guys can charge a lot of money. If you drop someone in the Manosphere who is a good speaker, we need someone in the Manosphere who's a good speaker. Y'all need to create like a speech class or something like that. Like create something behind the scenes where you guys teach men how to speak. Because and how to like engage with people, even people you think are operating in bad faith. I promise you, I was laughing and I thought this was kind of funny, but I promise you, like I wasn't here to attack him at all. Like in the beginning, if you watch, I let him speak for probably 3 minutes uninterrupted. And when I start asking questions, because it seems, honestly, the reason I started asking specific questions is it seemed like he was going nowhere. It seemed like he doesn't have an agenda, which is fair. Like people need you to lead them through the conversation. But y'all need to teach these men how to I don't know, like teach them how to talk. Like that's it. That's my gift to y'all. Just like teach them how to like engage in conversation. The lead attorney is probably a good speaker. I don't know. I don't really watch the lead attorney. I don't think I think he's one of the best speakers in the Manosphere, which is not saying a lot. Kevin Samuels is no longer here. He was an okay speaker, though definitely wrong on a lot of things. Thank you, Empress. Tribe of Men. I don't know who that is. Mediocre tutorial. Is he a good speaker? I don't remember. Yeah, some mediocre tutorial, lead attorney. Who else? Y'all are the better speakers in there. Like get these men together. Hafiz. No, Hafiz is not a good speaker. I don't know why he came to mind. He's a good image, I guess. Eden says, only you've been a member for 4 months. The only thing increasing since the Passport Bro movement started is the single mother rate, not the marriage rate. Yeah. Oh, the BBC released a report on the single mother rate in the Philippines. Look. FD need to really come talk to his people. FD, you need to come talk to these men. All right, I'm done. I have to go. Brunch is about to end, so bye. We might have to do Destiny and them some other time. Bye, guys.